You know, one of the biggest complaints in the nursing field is staffing. That there's a shortage of nurses. You look it up, statistics say that it's like, in a few years, it'll be 20, 30% shortage of nurses or something like that. So many tens of thousands of nurses that we need. And which is true. I mean, it's a nursing shortage. I know people are going to nursing school still, trying to get their degrees and things. You know, like, how's there a shortage? But it's a whole big thing about how they weed people out of school, this, that, and third, but we can get into that in another video. But there's a shortage. Which the effect of that is nurses are required to do more. Now I could say, let's say I work somewhere, not my full-time job, but I work somewhere where we should have nurses and we should have med techs, med aides, what do you want to call them. Then they got rid of med aides. And I think this is like a whole nationwide nurse, like the whole medical industry thing, because not only the company that I sometimes work for got rid of med aides, I know other companies that have got rid of med aides to where nurses have to pass the meds out. Now, the issue with that is it takes away from you being able to do your nursing job. Because you don't worry about passing medications and her getting it done in a certain time frame, then actually if something, because the way it is that if everything runs smoothly, you should be able to finish your job, your assignment in the 8 hours, 10, 12 hours, whatever that you are scheduled for that day. But all it takes is one patient who we got to send out to the hospital. One patient, blood sugar's low. One patient, who knows, may have failed, something. Anything can happen. Need an x-ray, need an order, something like that. All it takes is one thing that you have to do differently, a G-tube clogging up. All it takes is one thing that you have to do outside of the norm, and instead of you getting off in 8 hours, you're getting off in 9.5, 10 hours because of that. But if you had a med aid, you know what I'm saying, they passing the meds, you can do your nursing jobs when things come up, which is really what you're supposed to do. Which is really what, to me, what a licensed job is based on is if something comes up, you are there to be able to do it. Not, shouldn't have to be working, if you work an 8-hour shift, 10 or 12-hour shift, 16-hour shift, you should be on your feet the whole 16 hours because you're sitting there doing nothing. Let's just find something for you to do. To me, it's not what a licensed professional is supposed to do. That's not how it's supposed to work. Yeah, like I say, if something comes up, you need to do some nursing, make sure patients are straight, do your charting. Something comes up that a med aid, that a dietitian, that a cook, the housekeeper can't do, that the nurse has to do. And other than that, hell, if they ain't doing nothing, they ain't doing nothing. But I mean, it ain't like they ain't doing nothing. Nurses, I know they always doing something. If they ain't charting on the floor, they doing something. They helping, but it makes it hard for a nurse to be able to, like, help a tech or help a CNA or help a med aid because, well, they other time has been taking the past meds. But the thing is, like I say, if you have enough staff and you bring the med aids back, you fully staff, all your CNAs are in the building, everything's run smooth. The problem is, the issue that it affects is the money. You always got to follow the money. Understand everything is based on money. I don't care what field you're in, healthcare, food service, gas station. It's all about money. If you ain't making money, you can't stay in business. And unfortunately, that's part of healthcare too. You know what I'm saying? They're in the business to make money. They ain't making money, then they gotta cut costs. Or call it cut corners, whatever, however you want to put it. There's got to be some cuts made, right? If they can find a way to make maximum profit, they're trying to make maximum profits. They can find a way to make maximum profits because they're never gonna go backwards. They're gonna make like $100,000 one year, $100 million in 1 year, and then next year they make it 90, and the next year make 80. They're never gonna do that. They want to keep that. They're making 100 million. They want to keep it at 100 million, and here they want to make more, and then they're not gonna try to go backwards from that. Because they know the less and less they make, pretty soon they will be out of business, right? Like I say, unfortunately, it's part of healthcare too. I say it to say this also. Law enforcement is the same way. When you see people like Brandon Johnson say that Chicago has like short 20,000 police officers and they need the funding, or he getting upset because Trump trying to bring in the federal troops, but he said, don't bring the federal troops, send me money, but yet you are in a deficit. You are like in a $1.7, $1.8 billion deficit for the city. So you already squandered money, but you don't want him to come in and help the way he sees fit. You just want the money, like kind of like a dope fiend, or kind of like these people that be begging on the street, sitting on the side of the street with these signs saying, they want some money, but you give them food. Like, nah, I don't want the food, just give me the money. Wait a minute, what? Don't you want to eat? You know what I'm saying? You don't want no water? Don't you want to drink? I mean, seriously? So it's like, that's why I make people say, nah, I ain't giving you no money. If I'm gonna help you the way I want to help you. But in order to reduce crime, if Brandon Johnson, and Donald Trump for that matter, if they really wanted to reduce and eliminate crime, remember I did a video not too long ago about, do they want to reduce it or do they want to eliminate it? Because reduction in crime is okay, but it doesn't mean nothing to me, because you can say, oh, we got less murders than we did last year. That's because everybody dead, or everybody in prison. So that's why I reduced. It wasn't nothing that you did. It was that they took themselves out. I mean, it just makes sense, right? It just makes sense. So if they really wanted to reduce like actual numbers, like real life crime reduction, and or get rid of, or damn near get rid of crime, it's not bringing in federal troops. It's not having these programs. What do you say? Affordable housing. Man, how the heck affordable housing gonna make, gonna make the city safer? You got a bunch of things. You got when your city is full of criminals. Ain't nothing but criminals in your city. You talking about affordable housing and these programs. Cut out programs for kids, like school programs. Cut them out. So they got nothing to do after. School. You done. They, YMCA, Boys Club, all that kind of stuff. That stuff is gone. So now they out in the streets doing nothing. But anyway, if you want to reduce crime, really, like significantly, and be actual real numbers that you can actually be proud of, you need more police, and they need to be on the beat, and not in the office. Like I was talking about. What I was trying to get to with the nursing is a lot less patient care and more documentation. You're passing meds and documenting a bunch of stuff that sometimes a lot of people feel like it's just redundant and unnecessary. But you document because of the insurance. Insurance, you got to cross your T's, dot your I's in order to make, in order for insurance to pay for certain things or to pay for everything. So I get that. I understand that. I mean, that's who butters your bread, as they say. So if you can minimize certain documentation, you can get the nurse back out on the floor and not just documenting and passing meds and that's it. You can actually get a lot of nursing work done. Some of these patients can heal faster. Things can be done a lot better, a lot smoother, and you can have less problems. But it's like, I know a nurse was talking about how she was so busy that doctors said that one of the doctors came and did some rounding and one of the patient's legs was like swollen. And she was like, well, don't you think we need to do like get a scan on it to see, x-ray scan to see if there's like a DVT or something like that? You know what I'm saying? But the doctor was like, well, we can look into it, blah, blah, blah. But she was like, man, by the time she said by the time she was able to get around to look at that patient's leg, it was hours later, because she said had to pass meds. She said I had to get through her first round of passing meds. It was like 10, 11 o'clock. So it's like I said, passing the medications takes away from her doing her job. Doing nursing, because she can go and, she can hold off on the meds. But some of the medications, all the medications are timed. Especially if you got to check insulin and, not check insulin, check the person's blood sugar, and got to give insulin before, a certain time before their meals, or you got to give certain pills to some dialysis patients. You got to give them some pills like binders and stuff before they eat, or right before, when they first start eating. A lot of stuff is timed, like I say. So if you got to mess around and go do something else, you're hurting everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're hurting the other patients. So it's like, the thing is that if a nurse can do what the nurse is supposed to do, then things run smoother, patients get the right care, and you have less problems, less issues. Same thing with the police. The best, like I'm saying, what I'm going to say is the best way to minimize crime, get rid of it, wipe it out by a large percentage points, them police need to be out on the beat and not in the police station. Not after the crime happens, because that doesn't solve anything. You can have 20,000. Because I remember, was it CNN? No, MSNBC asked Mayor Brad Johnson if he thought that adding 20,000, 50,000 more policemen on the force, would that help the crime? And he was like, him and Han explained, talking about, no, I think we need affordable. He's like, what we need is these programs, this and the third. And it was like, yeah. And the interview was like, okay, I understand. Yeah, if you had all of that, do you think adding 20 or 50,000 more police, or 10,000, one of them, tens of thousands of more police officers on the beat, to the force, do you think that would help with crime? He would not answer. You know why? Because he know it would. Not sitting in the office waiting on crimes to happen. I'm talking about on the streets, on the beat. It is a proven fact. Go look at your history. That's what cops used to do. That's what police used to be in the community before the crimes. You know what I'm saying? Riding up and down the street, walking up and down the street, speaking to the kids, speaking to the older ladies out there on the side, outside on the porch, watching the kids outside and playing. It's like security. But people's like, oh man, they policing us, and we feel like a police state, and this is not right. And man, we feel like we can't trust the police and blah blah blah, all this kind of bullcorn. No. If you want to get rid of crime, stop it before it happens. That's what you want to do. Now, if you have enough police out there to where they can, go up and down the street, be around the corner, be somewhere close, crime will start to fall. That's all the National Guard is about to do. The National Guard, just look at it. What the National Guard has done in Washington, D.C. and what they are about to do in Chicago is the same thing the police force can do and should be doing. Patrolling. And this is how I look at it. I'm going to end it like this, but here's how I look at it. You can say you don't want the police walking around because they profiling. Okay, get the police that look like you. Get the police that's grew up with you, this, that, and the third. If you don't want the white police in your black neighborhoods, I understand. That's fine. I get it. But regardless, until then, get your but people want to say how they don't trust the police. And I get it to a point. And they don't want the police in the neighborhood. Like some woman said that she didn't want the National Guard in Chicago. We can take care of this ourselves. Or they can take care of themselves. Well, if that was the case, then Donald Trump would be sending the National Guard. You'd already done it, and Donald Trump wouldn't be sending the National Guard to you in the first place. Let's just be honest, right? I think I would rather have police on the beat in my neighborhood than worrying about bullets, AR-15 style bullets, 50 cals, whatever, 223s, coming through my car, coming through my house window, somebody trying to rob me, carjack me. Not saying it'll eliminate it for good. It won't eliminate all crime. It can. If it can, shoot, that'd be great. But not saying that it will. But what I'm saying is it'll reduce it with realistic numbers. As in, people will not do crime. Most people will not do crimes if they know law enforcement will be there in a matter of seconds. It's just a known fact. And these youngsters, yeah, they crazy, they throw it off or whatever the case may be, but it's a known fact. People are afraid of the police. Criminals don't want police in the neighborhood because they don't want the police to stop them from doing what they want to do in the first place. That's all. But when you get older, you get sick and tired of the crime in your neighborhood. You get sick and tired of these youngsters doing things. You're trying to tell them to stop, and they won't stop. And talking to them ain't gonna help. And they threatening you and the safety of your family. You gotta figure out which one do you want. You know what I'm saying? Which one do you want the worst? That's what you call a lesser of two evils. Do you want to say the hell with the police and we're just gonna cry and bitch about it and just pray that Brandon Johnson changes his mind and and the government stop being money hungry and not being all about the money? Because again, they get paid off of crime, right? They like, well, but it's because of the jobs that they had the police doing. Like I say, if they had them on the beat, they won't pay them to be on the beat though. They don't want to pay them. If they're gonna pay them, they want to be in the office doing some kind of paperwork, filing and stuff like that. But you can have officers out there on the streets, on the beats, walking, you know what I'm saying, just patrolling. That's it. I mean, hell, and you can watch them nowadays. You got cameras, you got GPS. Back in the day, you might have couldn't, you know what I'm saying, it probably made sense. You couldn't do it because you know what I'm saying, you didn't know, you probably couldn't watch them. You know what I'm saying, you probably couldn't follow them, couldn't keep up with them. But now, you got the technology to where you can, hell, truck drivers got it all the time. Cameras and GPS systems. So you got the technology to watch your police officers and see where they're at all times. Simple as that. So it could be done, but they don't want to. So that lets you know right there again, they're not trying to eliminate crime. They don't care. All they want to do is make sure the police department, the city, stay as profitable as possible. They make the money, and that's it. They ain't worried about safety. None of that. They ain't worried about the stats. Like I said, you can sit there and say crime is down, but hell, if everybody's dead, the majority of people dead in jail, yeah, crime gonna be down, okay? The weather, if it's cold outside, crime gonna be down. You went to the, you know what I'm saying, kind of cool off or get a little warmer, you know, it's a nice 60 to 70 degree day. Oh, crime gonna go up for, you know, like something gone. Come on, everybody, let's just stop playing. Stop what they say, stop playing in my face. But anyway, that's all I got, man. Tell me what y'all think about this. If you're going here, make a few dollars a day, go to work, do what I gotta do, take care of these patients, you know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you maybe a couple minutes out your day, but it means the world does here at the channel. With that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.